The senator from California.
Mr. President, are we in a quorum?
Yes, we are.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the quorum call be vitiated.
There is no objection.
Mr. President, I rise today to join my colleagues in recognizing the indispensable contributions public service workers across the nation make every single day. I'd like to start by thanking Senators Sinema and Lankford. Like to start by thanking my colleagues, Senators Sinema and Lankford, for championing the 2024 reintroduction of their Public Service Recognition Week resolution, of which I am a proud co-sponsor. For more than 4 decades, the first week of May has been set aside to show appreciation to the federal, state, county, and local government employees who form the backbone of our country. As we mark the 40th anniversary of this tradition, we have a renewed opportunity to salute those working behind the scenes in small towns and big cities, many of whom have dedicated their entire professional careers to giving back to their community and to this country. California is home to more public servants than any other state in our nation. As one of the 2 senators representing more than 40 million Californians, I could not be prouder of that fact. Whether it's here in the halls of Congress or in the pockets of our nation, I stand shoulder to shoulder with millions of public servants who get out of bed every morning committed to shaping our world for the better. From our teachers to our librarians, our elected officials, and our election workers. Our people in uniform who fight crimes and fight fires, they and so many others exemplify some of our nation's highest ideals. I am inspired by the stories of hardworking Californians who have dedicated their lives to public service. They are the reason our communities are kept safe. They are the reason our students are kept on the right track. They are the reason democracy endures against attempts to erode it. And they don't get nearly enough credit or thanks for the sacrifices that they make to keep our country moving forward. My office performed direct outreach to communities up and down our state, inviting people to nominate those working in local, state, and federal offices they believed best define what it means to be a public servant. We received hundreds of nominations, extraordinary people from all across California who embody the spirit of public service. And though each and every one of them deserves their own recognition, I'd like to share a few of those stories today. The first is Roxanne Sahame. Roxana is a multilingual cultural academic language coach at the LA Unified School District. She's nominated by Geraldine Hernandez. Geraldine met Roxana this year from Geraldine's work in community engagement and as a parent liaison for the Reseda Community Schools. A member of United Teachers of Los Angeles, Roxana is a single mom, nominated for having the biggest heart and the best gifts in working with students from underserved communities. She was a former dean of students at West Adams Prep School, has worked with students involved in gangs, and provided meaningful support to keep our kids on the right path. She currently serves as a coach for Title III multilingual and cultural language students in Los Angeles, which is the second largest school district in our nation. In addition, she works in supportive services for the English Language Development Program at William Mulholland Middle School. Congratulations and thank you, Roxana. Veronica Marabella from Los Angeles, California. Veronica is a nurse practitioner at Martin Luther King Outpatient Center for Los Angeles, California. She was nominated by Guadalupe Alvarado. Veronica is a proud union member of SEIU Local 721, and she was Guadalupe's first supervisor in 2001 at Charles Drew Medical Center. and she has served for 30 years as a nurse practitioner, including the supervision of the Trauma Intensive Care Unit at Martin Luther King Hospital in LA. She built a track record training nurses on how to best advocate for their patients and for each other. She also worked closely with Dr. Mead, who was the ICU director and Nobel Peace Prize recipient, to orient and train both interns and residents in the surgery program. Veronica has dedicated her life to serving others in the most complex environments. In the words of Guadalupe, she reminds us of the compassion, dedication, and skill involved in providing excellent patient care. Thank you, Veronica and Guadalupe. Joy Murphy from Santa Clara, California. Joy works at NASA Ames Research Center and was nominated by her cousin, Geraldine Hernandez. Joy has been a public servant for more than 26 years and was the first Filipina African American to serve as the Deputy Director of the Office of Human Capital at the NASA Ames Research Center. She now serves as Director of California Human Resources and Chief Human Capital Officer at NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in Edwards, California. Joy is a mother who has dedicated her life to serving her community, and according to Geraldine, has a heart of gold and talent that words cannot describe. Thank you, Joy, for all that you do to make California and our nation great. Josh Hoynes from Shasta, California. Josh of Shasta works at the national parks and was nominated by Aaron Ryan, who works with Josh in serving California constituents. A public servant for more than 18 years, Josh currently serves as the Whiskeytown Park Superintendent. Aaron told us that Josh came into his role during a very difficult time. Over 90% of the park had burned in a wildfire, and he was dealing with COVID shutdowns and a lack of funding. Despite these obstacles, Josh has returned to the park, and he's returned the park to an effective recreation area. According to Aaron, Josh has done great work with staff and the community and our office, and adds that the community is fortunate to have him in the district. I know I'm fortunate to have Josh in our national parks as a representative of this government, and I'm grateful, Josh. Thank you and congratulations. Finally, Diego Rivera, also from Los Angeles. Diego is a firefighter. He's a firefighter at the U.S. Services Angeles National Forest in Los Angeles, California. He was nominated by Robert Garcia, who serves as his boss, the fire chief. On August 16, 2023, Diego was fighting fires in the Six Rivers National Forest in Northern California when he was struck by a fallen tree and severely injured, rendering him paralyzed. Since his injury, Diego continues to defy a lot of his medical prognosis, exceeding any expectation that medical professionals have made. Despite his paralysis, he remains engaged with his firefighting team and the U.S. Forest Service Fire Agency to continue to motivate and inspire firefighters to believe in themselves and in each other. In closing, Mr. President, service is the rent we pay for living, or as Shirley Chisholm reminded us, it is the great price that we pay for living. I'm grateful to the thousands of public servants across the state of California for their continued service to the people of this nation. Choosing a life of dedicated service to others is a decision that demands the highest respect and the greatest gratitude. Far too often, people in this line of work go unsung and underpaid. So as we use this moment to recognize the critical role they play in holding our nation together, let's recommit ourselves to understanding that they are needed, ensuring that they are protected, and making the path to public service smoother for those who choose to walk it. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.